Hello, hello, El Paso. We are so excited today to be bringing this podcast over to you with some amazing partners with eXp Realty, and of course, I like to say like family, right? Yep. So again, coming all the way, we were so super excited about this podcast. We couldn't even sleep that much that last night. So coming to us today from Cary, North Carolina is a fantastic, amazing couple, married couple, Tina and Kevin Caul, all the way from North Carolina again. Talk to us, Tina and Kevin. Let me tell you, when we met you in Cabo, it was like, whew, it was like celebrity. Like, I'm like,
get out of here.
Please. Yeah. That's what Edgar was like, oh my gosh. I was like, Edgar, that's Tina.
So she's wearing my hat.
Yeah, we had matching hats, Edgar. That's right.
What I remember the most is I was trying to get out of the bar about 6 or 7 times, and every time I walked by, I go, hey guys, I'm really leaving this time.
We were cracking up so much because we're like, hey, were they leaving already?
Yeah.
And he was like, sorry, bro. Sorry.
I couldn't get him out of there. He's like
Mr.
Introvert until I take him to Cabo, and he's all of a sudden a socialite, even more than me, which is
I loved it. I loved meeting you guys. It's just like I always say, everybody that we speak to from our family, our eXp family, is just so humble and nice. Like the aura's there. So tell us a little bit. How'd you guys feel about Cabo?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I'm a travel junkie, so just give me an opportunity to hop on a plane and I'm there. But I love our intimate events because you really get to meet the people. Like I've been with Remax and Keller Williams for years and years before this, 21 years in the business. And I never had deep connections like we have now. And also, we just, I don't know, we love getting to know the company more, like the leaders at the company more. And it really resets the excitement, the ambition about, wow, we're really changing lives at this company. So
yeah. I told Tina, it's funny, I love the eXp events, and I could not stand real estate events prior to that. She would go, I'd say, I'm good.
I was always alone.
Yeah, now with eXp, it's every event. I want to go to every single one. And I think the coolest part about it, and what people who aren't with eXp don't realize, it's the leadership is there too, right? And you're at the pool with Glenn Sanford and Dave Kennord and the leaders of the company, and can just, kind of bend their ear and you just get to know them on a more personal level as opposed to, these corporate people.
They're up in a glass box. Don't touch them.
I love every minute of it.
And it's funny you say that, because that's the first thing I told Jackie as well, right? This was our, I guess, technically second eXp event. We went to eXp when we actually joined there.
Yeah.
And then when, here in Cabo, and that's exactly what I told her. I said, how cool is it that he's right there? You know what I mean?
Right there. Yeah. I mean, I've been to 15 events in 24 months at eXp.
Wow.
I want to go to them all.
Yeah, I want to go to them all. I tried to go to the Arizona one, but we just couldn't do that one. But we're ready for Dallas.
We're ready. Yeah, we're ready for Dallas. That's for sure.
Not miss that one. But again, like just touching back to that Cabo, and the reason why I go back to the Cabo is, like Edgar was mentioning, when we joined eXp, that was 2019 of October. We signed there in Vegas, and the pandemic hit us right after. So I guess during all that 2020, there was really not much. Until we dug in there a little bit more into the eXp, and we found this gentleman, you probably know him, Nick Krem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, great.
He started all of this right here, like the podcast.
Yeah.
Never knew I could do before. Yeah. Like this, I would have freaked out. Well, I did freak out. I'm still freaking out a little bit. And trying to, unravel like ourselves. And we've been able to interview some really, really amazing agents like you two. So our first real big event was in Cabo. And what I was telling Edgar before, some of the companies that we were with before, exactly like you mentioned, Tina, it's like you feel like you can't, like I wasn't able to talk to other people because, you had to be, I don't know, I kind of felt like we weren't there. You weren't allowed to. So, or you bothered them in some way. When I was trying to enter in Cabo, everybody was just so super humble. And not only that, during 2020, when we started asking or started our podcast show, everybody's just so welcoming. So what can you say more about that? It's not like they say a real estate model, it's a business model, but I think I want to go one step further. It's like a model, basically.
It is, you know, think about this. When you enter the real estate game, right, at any level, you're entering an industry where you got to pay for your real estate license. You go to a brokerage, they're making money off you. Then everyone's trying to sell you shiny objects. You feel alone. You have to be resourceful, and you don't come in with business partners. And here, the minute I joined eXp, you know, I had Michelle Sayward and Curtis and Mark Z and Dan Beer and Kyle Whistle and Chuck Fazio and all these amazing people were like my new family. They were like, what do you need, Tina? How can we help you? How can we help you grow? And I'm thinking, I never got the how can I help you grow, because I was always the bigger fish in the pond in our real estate brokerage, right? We were a top 5 team out of 9,000 in our area. Nobody asks us how can we help you, because they feel like we've got it figured out. And our production went from 72 million from KW to 105 million to 135 million, and we're tracking to 200 million. Wow. That's because of the people that we met, the groups we've been exposed to. They have a financial incentive to help us. And even though our brokerages had the same financial incentive, they couldn't afford to help us because I had to go buy my training outside of the brokerage constantly, right? Coaches, trainings, events outside of the firm. The firm can't afford to help us grow in the ways that we need to. And so that was the difference. It becomes family because I talk to my partners every week. And so that becomes the community, and we're cousins now, right? So even though we might not be in the same family tier, we're cousins in the company, and we're all shareholders. Therefore, I'm on this podcast because I know that it'll create an awareness for your community in El Paso that I already seen it happen here in Raleigh, North Carolina. eXp is the #1 firm in 18 months. It's going to happen in El Paso. You guys just have to decide who is going to be your partner agents there to help you grow it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, it's beautifully said. Hopefully everybody that's listening to, and we keep saying about it, and I know I've seen it from you guys as well, is just being that open-minded individual, right? It's like I know with this whole real estate, I mean, I thought for sure me and Jackie had it all figured out at one point. And then we get into, the bigger room, which, you guys are obviously a part of it. Chuck Fazio, all these big guns, and you're like, man, we're tadpoles, you know what I mean? So like we really gotta, but in a good fashion, not much. And you guys never made us feel that way. It was just more about like, how can we help you today and moving forward. So to me, it's exciting because I've never been a part of anything like it. It's really weird. I go, man, I'll drink that blue and orange. I don't even know what our colors are. Kool-Aid. It's amazing.
Blue and orange.
Yeah.
What are some tips you can kind of like let us know, even as us, we're growing as well. We're a smaller team here in El Paso, Texas. And what tips would you be able to give us on, now that, we're able to speak to you and to others, on married couples or that want to grow their business or are just stuck? Some people are just stuck. What can you do to get us out of that realm?
I can tell you one thing that we learned fairly early on. One person is generally the visionary and the driver, and the other person has to be the implementer. And so you have to recognize that pretty early on. I know she's the visionary. I know she's just a born driver and great at it. Yeah. So for myself, I had to step back and just kind of take almost more of a support role. And when we started out together, we certainly were both in production, but we realized our strengths early on and had a discussion about it. I said, look, I don't know why I'm going on these listing appointments. It's like sending the minor league ball team when we can send the Dodgers. You know what I mean? Like, let's figure out what we're great at and grow from there. And so allowing her to be the visionary that she is, at that point, our business exploded, real estate wise.
Wow. He did it right. He said, you go out and do all the listings and deal with all the customers. And I'll just sit back here and fish.
Smarter, not harder, everybody. Smarter,
I love that. You see?
I got, he gives me all those accolades, but he was really the smarter one.
Oh, you see? And that's what we figure out, like early on, we're like, okay, so what is it? You know, Edgar, what is going to be your role in a couple, right? Like, because we do everything together, everything. Right. So people say, how do you do it? Well, we just do it, you know, like we just go on. But sometimes there's married couples there that need to find each other and their role. So I think a lot of married couples have that issue, or is it an issue?
Well, and I think it's sort of the dynamic with marriage too, right? So you're going to have a lot of married couples that don't like each other, and their marriages unfortunately don't work. And you're going to have a lot of married couples that do like each other and their marriages work. And so it's the same thing in real estate. Like if you have a good relationship where you can call each other out on their crap, or, you know, or say, okay, I see that you're a better visionary for this. I'm going to let you do this because I understand that you're more invested in this. And I'm just going to step back, and his ego doesn't get in the way to go, no, I'm going to do it my way. When you have two drivers in a marriage, those marriages don't work out very well. Somebody has to be either the visionary leader of the marriage and then the support, or not. And so if half the ideas that I've had, if he knocked them down, we would have those arguments, just like coming to eXp.
I was going to say the big one would have been the move to eXp, right? I was a hard no.
And I was a hard
no.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it the day I saw that video, I was like, we have to do this. This company this is fixing all my problems, all my issues, the freedom plan, the recruiting plan to my team, the leadership plan, the support plan. It just had every facet of the business that we needed to support the vehicle. And knowing that I've been in the business 21 years and him, 7, 8 at the time, I'm like, no, this is my baby. I had more pain points and have gone through the evolution. I'm telling you, this is going to work. And so we got to the point where we fought about it so much that I said, fine, you make the final decision. It's on you. And that's it. And so he made the final decision. That was a no. And then 2 weeks later, I walked into the bathroom, I remember, and I said, we're going to eXp.
You let me feel like I'm a decision maker.
And you said,
sleep at night. Yeah. I'm like, I can't sleep at night. We're doing this. That's it. I'm putting my foot down.
Yeah. And that was actually one of my questions that I had is, when did you feel like those butterflies in your stomach? Like, this is it. This is the company.
Immediately, except for, like I didn't like the logo at the time. I wasn't blue and orange. We sell a lot of luxury homes up to $3-4 million. And so my ego, tried to put the blockers in place. Well, we're not, Sotheby's or Compass or one of these fancier brands, and eXp sort of looks like a discount brand, right? But then what I truly realized was, I'm not any of the brands I was with. I wasn't RE/MAX. I never promoted RE/MAX. I never promoted Keller Williams, and I don't promote eXp. I promote Call Group. So the essence of who we are still remained the same. eXp was the vehicle I needed for the brokerage, for the business to run and operate and have rocket fuel. So now I feel like I have rocket fuel versus, whatever we had before.
And it took me 3 months in to realize we were in the right place. Initially when we onboarded, it is way different now. Now you can get onboarded. Everything is super smooth. The technology, all of the bugs are worked out. When we did, they weren't so much. So it was an easy transition. What's that, Jackie?
The little hiccups. There was just some hiccups.
Exactly.
I thought it was easy.
Because she didn't have to do anything.
Exactly.
When you're onboarding a whole team, right, it was a little trickier. 3 months in, once we started seeing the real benefits, and really the collaboration was the key for me. When the business partners that she speaks of really were reaching out, and it wasn't just about, hey, let's get them to sign and then we're done with them.
Exactly.
Right? That's when I said, okay, we're in the right place. Now let's grow this thing. And thankfully that's been what happened.
That is pretty. That's like I'm like seeing it all from the outside. And what can you say to the small brokerages out here, the bigger brokerages out here? Like you say, you had an amazing team, right? How did you get them to envision eXp as well? Like, did they all come with you? What can you say to these brokerages that have like the teams with the companies, with bigger?
The thing about it, you're a small team. We were a team of 8 agents, myself 9. My story. So everybody's got a personal story and a want and a wish list. So it was 21 years in the business. I couldn't find an exit strategy as far as stepping away, because if I stepped away from my 100 deals a year that I was personally doing, there's $1 million of business. And my buyer agents, 7, 8 agents, were not covering that $1 million, income amount. And so I knew I had to grow to like 30 agents to make sure I had enough agents. I didn't want to grow my team that big. I didn't want to have the headache, the overhead, the expense. And so I felt stuck between a rock and a hard place. And so for me, it was sort of like, okay, if I teach these agents to do everything that I do, and I take the listing side of the business and hand it to them, they might just walk out the door one day. And so I had this disillusion of like, I can't really teach everyone to the level I need because, again, they may leave. And so with eXp, I love the fact that I have the freedom to go, no, here's my listings, here's my past clients, here's everything in my business, because I know, if you leave, you're only growing because you're leaving off my team to grow into an independent individual agent. So it kept the attrition piece for me set in my mind. So brokerages, I have access to Market View Broker, which is a system that shows me agents coming and going from brokerages. You would be shocked to see that it is just a game. It's a pawn. It's a chess game of like, we're the little chess pieces, the agents. And the brokerages are just fighting over us one by one. They're trying to, we gained 20 agents this month. We lost 8. Every agency grows and gains agents. So when I saw that from that perspective, I was like, gosh, we are somebody else's plan. We are somebody else's retirement. And why don't we have the ability to do it ourselves? And so eXp just put me in the driver's seat of saying, I'm a broker owner now. I can bring agents in to partner with them, teach them everything I know. I can finally monetize this information in here, right? And then I get rewarded as a referral from a company. So if an agent sells more homes, I get a referral fee from eXp as a thank you. Like, it just makes sense. So yeah, I mean, that's my vision of it.
Oh my gosh. And then just like you said, and then when you join all these other things that we didn't know about like we joined for the mentorship and the collaboration.
Yeah.
And you're getting stock, you hit an icon, you hit this, you're just consistently getting rewarded. And I said, Edgar, what is this? I wouldn't even do stock. I didn't even know like what that was at that time. And, we had to research a little bit more.
You're like, what does this mean?
Yeah. What does this mean?
What does this mean? Yeah. Because we used to hand me that trophy right there. I used to get trophy after trophy after trophy. And now I tell people all the time, this little trophy, which you receive for selling 27 homes a year, right? So a lot of people in your area in El Paso are icon agents and they don't even know it. But this trophy, this $16,000 that they gave us back, we have over $300,000 that the company gifted us. Think of that. Yeah. So that above and beyond, we spend the 5% of every commission check and buy stock. That's another $1 million in our retirement account. So just in the 24 months that we've been here, I can say today that because I've brought over, 55 humans above and beyond my team, those 55 humans have turned into 650 humans that are in our family. eXp literally made us financially free. We don't have to work today if we don't want to, but of course we're going to because we love real estate, right? Yes. So the eXp made me free. I can't say that for any other agent that I know at any other brokerage. Did your brokerage make you financially free? No. There is no brokerage. And show it to me, because if there's another one, I'm so open, I will look at everything.
Open-minded. We got to be open-minded about our business and everything that we do. Right. So when we go back to freedom, what does freedom mean to you two? What does that mean? What for us being, what does that mean? What is that showing everybody, now that maybe we could step back from production, or what does that do?
I mean, for me, it's stepping out of production. The definition of freedom for me is waking up in the morning and doing whatever I want without worrying about the bills or the team even. Like, I don't need my team anymore to survive. I don't need anything to survive except for pouring into my eXp family and continuing to contribute to the business, right? I'm on this call. We're not aligned, but you're a shareholder. I'm a shareholder. I want our company to provide freedom for all the agents so they can feel this way. So I'm internally motivated to just do these calls because people need to know. So financially free means you do what you want when you want, and money comes in. So think about this. I was golfing yesterday with a friend. She works for IBM. She's a top paid professional at that company. She owns lake houses and beautiful things in her life, but she was taking a stroke and she said, you know, I don't know that I want to work for IBM forever. And you look so happy now. She goes, I need to figure out passive income. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I have, you know, 12, 15, 20, $50,000 a month now coming in at eXp, and I have that. So we all know how to make money in real estate, right? And we get shiny awards for making hundreds and hundreds of thousands. But if you ask any agent, top producer, can you just walk away from your business for 6 months, never look at it again and survive? Not many can say yes. Yeah. So that's my definition of freedom.
Yeah. I think Glenn Stanford nailed it on stage in Cabo, actually. He said freedom for him is waking up, being able to do what he wants, when he wants to do it, with the people he wants to do it with.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's amazing. And I just, your guys' story is just remarkable. With us, we will try to get there as far as like the freedom. That's why we joined as well. I think we're going 2 years in October. Yeah, 2 years in October. And now it's just that part of learning everything with eXp and what makes sense. And in Cabo, it was just, I was telling Edgar, you know, I felt like this different fire feeling, like, oh my God, you know, everybody's pushing us to go that way. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And so many people are, what do you think? How can you relate to that?
Well, I think the biggest,
you want to say something.
well, I get excited. What I told Jackie, I said, you know, the coolest thing about like the events and everything that we got to experience there in Cabo was we're going to get there. And the really cool part of it, and this is, I truly, not just because we're the eXp, but we have people that are there to help us. We're not going to do it alone, and we can make these calls. We can get on these videos. We can do podcasts. We can do everything we want with the people that actually want to help us. And I've never been a part of that. I really haven't. And for me, I think it'll help us get to what we consider freedom a lot faster, because we have, again, people like you that are there to help us, and it's not even 100% aligned, but I do know that it's coming from the right place, and you guys want that for everybody in the company.
Everybody. Like nothing would make me happier than every El Paso agent watching this to just go, you know what? I'm just going to have a conversation, because this is the beauty. You have a brokerage now in El Paso. You have eXp. When we started eXp, there was a few agents here. They didn't really make a lot of noise. I wish they would. I shake them now and go, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me faster? Right. You know, and they didn't. And my good friend called me, and she kept calling and calling, and I was very closed off to it. I kept saying no. Remember, Michelle called and she was like, you know, you need to look at this. And he's like, is that Michelle on the phone? Tell her we're not effing going to eat. No, it's so bad. But finally she caught me in this moment, and I watched the video. And so there are 3 or 4 or 5 awesome leaders in El Paso right now that need to be picking up the phone, or need to be not upset when you call them and say, hey, it's Jackie and Edgar. We are going to grow this thing, whether you guys like it or not, but we want you to be partners, because we want to build a community of agents helping agents helping agents. Because when you come from abundance, there is so much business out there for all of us. There is so much knowledge out there for all of us. And when you truly have passion and you're helping people, things just happen. So I had a passion for helping sellers and buyers. That's why I was successful in my business. It wasn't about the buck, it was about them. But when I lost that passion, that daily passion, right, that grind, now it's about helping agents. So I think eXp is on a mission to really kind of shake up the industry and help us become connected, so we can help others have that financial freedom.
Well, and you nailed it. And even I wanted to say this earlier when we were talking about Cabo, and that it's the abundance mindset.
Yes.
That's the difference that we found with this company versus the other ones we were with. It is an abundance mindset. And that is, for us, that feels very comfortable, because we've, you know, spent the last 20 years just on self-development and all of those things. And coming from abundance is huge. Even doing this show with you guys, right? We're all helping each other here. And that's coming from abundance. We're not worried, oh, well, if we go on their show, is that promoting? No,
No,
this
it
is
doesn't matter.
right. That's all
In
crap.
fact, if anyone from El Paso calls, that is your team right there.
Thank you, Tina, so much. But
Yeah.
like you two were mentioning, it's almost like a disservice. That's what I tell Edgar.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I want to shout it out.
Yes.
I feel like when they say you throw it all up, and I tend to do that a lot because there's just so much goodness that it's done and that I can do for other agents in our market, in our community.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, we're barely learning everything else. It's like, how do you do that? But thanks to the eXp, the culture and the community, I feel we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So you will see us rise, right?
You will get there. You will get there. It's happening in so many markets. Charlotte, it became number 1 in 4 years. In our market, it became number 1 in 2 years. It's coming, whether people like it or not. It's so much better to get on this growth. This next 8 years is truly the biggest opportunity. And for me, it's like the role is just awareness. Like, I feel like I'm a whistleblower. I'm like, hey, agents, I love you all. It's so much better over here because of what we get.
Right.
And then they're like, don't recruit me. I love it here. I'm happy. Well, you can be happier too. And you don't have to leave your friends. I'm friends with everybody at my RE/MAX office and my KW office, and I love on them. And if they want to stay there, awesome. But if you come over here, your family will do better. You will do better financially, without a doubt. So
it's really changed our lives.
Yeah,
It really has, like, just the video aspect of it that we try to be consistent with. It's been awesome. Nick Krem, thanks so much. I always thank him on this.
Nick is awesome.
He's awesome.
Nick is awesome. It's funny because when we went live, I like Nick's fingerprint is all over this. Right? I know we've done a couple podcasts. This is for sure.
And everything pushes you. What you learn there, everything pushes you to your, to get uncomfortable. Like I always mention, we have to get uncomfortable. Right?
And here's the thing that, you'll realize too, people will be like, oh, eXp agents, that's all they do is recruit. And that's so ridiculous because only 5 to 8% of the company actually recruit. But guess what, guys? You have to recruit to survive. You have to recruit buyers and sellers every single day for the rest of your life on a hamster wheel. Every day you better be recruiting a buyer or seller. And when you're a team leader, every single day you better be recruiting talent, because your talent walks out the door and guess what? Your business overnight is gone. So you have to recruit to survive, right?
Yes.
Brokerages have to recruit us to win. They have to recruit us to keep the lights on. But what value are they bringing for that, for that relationship? And so recruiting is not a bad thing. It's caring enough about another individual. You'll sit down with them, you'll listen about their problems, and you'll point them in the right direction. And you may just change the trajectory of somebody's life. I am so blessed I got recruited. I am so blessed that Michelle didn't give up on me. Yeah. And so don't think about it this for you two. Call every agent in your market, send them this video and say, you're another peer, you need to know this information. And if they say yes, that's amazing. If they say no, that's okay. It doesn't take a lot of people's lives to change your life. And so one person can change the trajectory of your business. And so focus on the people that have their ears open, that want change in their life.
Absolutely.
Tina, you already hit everything. You and Kevin. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. All my bullets already done.
Well, the thing is, you should be honored to get that call, right? Yes. I can never understand the people who are like, don't call me about that. No, please call me. If there is something better than what I have going on right now, I need to know about it. I can decide if it's better or worse for me. Right? Yes. It's like when you have a seller and they say, oh, I'm offended by that offer. No, you should be offended by the people who didn't even give you an offer.
Thank you. Oh my God, Amen. Kevin, that was good. Yes.
Right. That's what you should be offended by. So don't be offended when people call you to recruit you. Be honored that people are calling and want to partner with you.
And there are people
be offended if they don't. Actually.
And there are actually people that have called me that want to partner with me that are not in my energy group, I guess or energy field. And I said, no, I don't think it's a great fit. I don't want to be the sponsor. I just don't feel it. So we're not out to just get everybody. I mean, that's not the way that it goes. So be honored if Jackie and Edgar call you, because it's like, you want to build a partnership with people that you want to work with on a daily basis. We call our local partners. We have 5 top agents that are in our top 15 in our market that are now with eXp. And it's like, we're doing things weekly. So you two have to decide, what is your weekly value proposition to bring to the community, and open your doors to value. That's it. It's not about eXp, it's about your value. And you're going to see that there are agents that will come because you have a lot to teach them. And then you have a lot to be taught, just like us. I'm always a student of learning. There's always something new to learn. Yeah.
Yes. I love what you just said. You want me to tell you something really funny? And Edgar said, did you know that, well, because, you know, you have freedom builders.
Oh, yeah.
Be part of the group. And Edgar's like, no, honey, you can't ask to be part of their group. That's their organization.
You can ask.
You can ask.
I was like, why not? Like, I want to be part of it. He's like, no. Kevin said,
we named it like that because it was so inspiring. Like, all we all want is freedom. Think of this. If your house is burning down, what are you saving first? You're saving your memories, your photographs. Life is about creating experiences. And in order to create a lot of great experiences, not that you need a lot of money, but you need money to have the freedom to create the experience. So for me, it's like, how can I create more and more and more experiences before I die? Oh, I need freedom. How do you need freedom? Well, I need passive income coming in. We have money, right? You have money, but the problem is when you turn off the flow of money, you have to turn on the flow somewhere else. And so nobody's figured out. I wish my parents would have taught me about passive income in my 20s. They failed at that, and they know that. And so I will not fail my child to understand what it's like to make money in his sleep. He will be obsessed about that because I will make sure that we don't fail him in that regard, so he can live a life of abundance and freedom.
I love that. I love you. You set it up. You set it up for yourself, for the family. And that's what we need to think of, not just real estate. Think outside where we could gain multiple streams of income in just one company. So again, family is really important to us. I know family is really important to you, right? So how does that incorporate in your business, spending time with the family? Now, like us, we love it. We're always with the kids now. Yeah. So that gives us a lot of freedom time. That's the type of freedom we love.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about what we've built, certainly, is we can go to the lake. We can go golfing together, right? We get to spend tons of time with it. Now, our son is 16 years old and has a girlfriend, so he doesn't necessarily want to spend as much time with us. He doesn't like us anymore. But we could if he wanted to.
He doesn't like us anymore.
Yeah, we're going through that right now.
We're going through that right now. I'm like, I guess we're alone.
We're alone. Yeah. But but you still can think about taking him and his friends on vacations. Like, we've paid for friends to come on vacation with us.
eXp events.
To eXp events, to just go and travel. I mean, think about being gone. We've been on like 20 different little mini vacations getting out of town because we have leverage, right? You have a team that's an amazing business. You're giving people opportunity to grow their business on your team. And then you've got eXp and you're pouring into people. So it's just, everything is coming from abundance. The more you give people what they want, you get what you want. And that is, So
one important question I want to ask, because it still kind of gets me. Does who you go under matter? Like the sponsorship? What is happening on that?
I don't want to say it doesn't, because it does in ways your experience is a little bit different. So like you all are part of which group?
The Honey Badgers.
Which we are too. There you go. So see, we're cousins. So we're all part of the Honey Badgers. The Honey Badgers group was the original group that I was attracted to, because you've got Jay Kinder and Mike Reese, and they're just geniuses in their own little, world over there. And so they have value. You've got the Dan Beers and the Kyle Whistles, and they have value. You have all of these amazing people. So yes, I actually vetted Michelle and made sure she was part of the Honey Badger group, because I wanted to be part of that group. Yes. Then as we started growing and we saw our organization get to 100, 150 people, we started to differentiate locally. What does Freedom Builders Group mean? Well, Freedom Builders is a part of Fast Forward Movement, which is Dan and Kyle, which is part of Honey Badger Group, which is Jay Kinder and Mike Reese. So all of us combined our efforts. We're all growing our organizations, but we're all connected as a family.
I love.
So So it does matter, because if you join under, let's say, your cousin that just got their license and they're under a group that doesn't bring a lot of value, it's sort of like joining a real estate team. I know that there are agents on my team today that are way more successful than the teams they came from. Why? Because they're learning something different in our team. So I would say that you should investigate who the senior partners are in the peer group that are going to be connected to you financially, because that could change the way that your experience is at eXp.
Well, and it can change your business.
It can change your business.
I mean, our business has grown a lot because of the people we are now aligned with. We've learned a ton from Dan Beer and Kyle Whistle.
Yeah.
I mean, a ton, right?
Yeah.
And so just having them in your corner.
Or Mark Z.
I
mean, I've learned now, the guy's got all these apartments and investments and worth, tens of millions of dollars. And so, now we're investing with him in syndicated deals and, that Grant Cardone does. And so you start to open your world up to people that go, I can help you in this portion of your life and help your money grow better. Okay, teach me, and they want to teach me because they want that partnership, right? That longevity of the relationship. So yeah, it is really cool to just literally surround yourself with people that are growth minded. And I craved that my whole entire career and used to put myself into mastermind groups with just those people. And now I get a whole company full of them. That's kind of fun.
A whole company. It's endless. It's endless. They said go through all the honey badgers, start one and go all the way down. So we've been doing that, and we're just glad that we met you for you guys to come on this. So just so that we know how busy you guys are. We know how busy. What are one takeaways that you could give to somebody who's really thinking on the other side of the screen right now? Like, what would you say to them today?
What would you say?
Is that off the edge?
As far as as far as brokerage wise?
If they feel like, they want that growth, they are open-minded about their business, what would you tell them as far as, or a good tip? Like, what would you tell them?
Here's what I would say. No matter where you are in your business, and I said this about a year into eXp, and it really has to do with just the collaboration and all of the different people you are aligned to. Whether you're a brand new agent, a seasoned agent looking at the sunset of your career, or an agent that wants to grow, or a team for that matter, big teams, big brokerages.
Sorry about that.
eXp fits all of it, and it covers all of your bases. You will find what you need at eXp, right? And not every brokerage can say that. And the beautiful thing about it is really because of the collab piece. I know if I want to up my postcard game, right? We called Dan Beer. He sent us every single postcard he's ever sent out in a package, right? So if we wanted to learn farming, I'm going to Dan. If I want to learn video, I'm going to Kyle Whistle. If I want to learn investments, I'm going to Mark Z, right? Mike Reese, weird internet,
Wizard.
Whatever he's up to, right?
Wizard,
he's a whole other thing, right? And get sales skills like Jay Kinder, Nick Krem for video.
Yeah, there's somebody.
There's somebody everywhere. And it's just because of the community of agents that really, it's a community more so than a company, I would say.
Yeah.
A community. So there's a part for every missing piece in your business.
Every piece. And for me, I would say that looking at the trajectory of my career, 21 years, when my first 7 years, I was an average agent. I was the average of the people that I was surrounded with, and they were amazing people, but you sell 30 homes, but I always wanted growth. And when I met my coach, that coaching company took my business to $1 million business. So I understood that I needed to pay for coaching, and I paid for coaching for 12 years. This last 2 years has been the first time in the last 12 that I actually canceled my coaching contracts. I'm no longer paying for coaching. So I'm saving another $15,000 a year right then and there. And I've grown my business faster than any coach because I have a collective group of coaches that are my business partners that if I win more, they get paid more. I mean, if that's not financial incentive enough. So these people answer the phone. So I may not answer the phone when my brother calls sometimes because I'm tired. But if a business partner calls, right? I'm like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Right? It's a business partner. So that's the difference. You come into eXp with a collaborative group that wants you to succeed. I am partnered with 5 of my fiercest competitors in our market, and we are having so much fun. I mean, and exchanging ideas and secrets. And guess what? We're just dominating the market. It's more fun to say all of us are together now. And
that's the abundance mindset.
It's the abundance mindset.
That really is.
So yeah, I just think it's so cool to just be here.
And when you get in, plug in. There's so many things to plug into. Make sure you do plug in.
Yeah, you got to jump in though. You got to jump in, because it's like one of those, you can give all the tools, but if you don't utilize them, there can be setbacks.
Reach out for sure.
You got to dig in there. So I think that's what we've been doing, is digging in there, because you could have easily said, no, I'm busy. Like, I don't. Exactly. It's amazing that everybody hasn't.
Kevin's retired.
Kevin's retired.
Kevin's retired. Yeah, he's a fisherman now.
I'm only involved in high level decisions.
High level.
Like what's for dinner tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
You guys pair so good together, and that's what the marriage is about at times, because sometimes we're just like, okay, how do we balance each other? You know, I feel we're just like, because we're growing, right? We're just, oh my gosh, but we're gonna figure it out, Edgar and I. I'm tired.
Well, and then there's never a perfect balance. We just talked about this at our leadership mastermind. There, you know, it's always feels like a hot mess express when you're growing and growth minded. You know, you're looking to change, and change is good. And I love change. I thrive on it, because if you're not changing, you're dying. So I'm not the person that could sit at one job for 25 years and go walk into the same building and do the same. That's not me. And so my feeling is change is good. It revives the business. And so even though he's retired, we're going to change houses or change maybe, semi-retired. We're going to still have changes. Like, this is not just, okay, we're going to wake up every day and fish at that one pond for the rest of our life. That's boring. So we're still going to have changes. But
I love your vision, though. You said, how many times did you move these past, I think, what was it? Tell us about that a little bit.
We've moved, we've had 11 houses in 20 years. So it's every 2 years we move.
You see, Edgar?
Let's do it.
Well, yeah, here, we figured out that the moving company can pack your whole house for like $4,000. That's easy, right? So they pack down to the junk drawer, they pack it, and then they move us. And then amazingly, these people can come and unpack you and organize you. We were unpacked into this house within 3 days. We had our Christmas tree up, everything in its place. It was easy this time. It was easy.
She's trying to convince me that there's going to be another time.
There's going to be another move.
It's always easier for her. Moving is easier for her.
I love houses. I like to collect them.
I like to collect them.
She'll tell you, I am deep into self-growth and spiritual stuff. Like, that's what I'm into. So I watch all these documentaries and all that. What I was listening to today, they were talking about, and this is, I mean, everybody can relate to this. If you keep doing the same things every single day, right? You talk to the same people, you go on Facebook, you look at the same things, you listen to the same music, you're just going to live the same day for your whole life. And there is no fun in that. Like, that is no fun. So to change brokerages, to change homes, you have to change.
Except don't change your husband.
Yeah. I will change my husband.
I told him he's lucky I only change homes and not husbands.
And I said, she's lucky to have me.
I saw some of your wonderful, beautiful pictures. You met him when you were 16. No?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 16. First real boyfriend, I would say.
Yeah. Kudos. That is so
awesome.
Amazing.
Congrats,
that you guys are growing together. A legacy, an empire, and I look up to you too with the. Us being a married couple. So thank you so much for touching all these points. It's actually fun.
Oh, yeah.
I could do this all day. I told him, I'm like, we need to start a podcast, and he's got that rolling now.
Come on. Yes.
We're on it. So, well, thank you for inviting us. And
we have to spread the word in El Paso. Spread
the word. And this is the event, guys, the build, right?
Oh my gosh.
But if you aren't going to this, we need you there, right?
Think of this. That event is not an eXp event. It's put on and paid for by eXp agents. So eXp agents paid him $350,000 to show up for that day. Think about that. The agents are coming from so much abundance that we want to create enough awareness for other agents to come join us that the agents paid 350 grand. Where are other agents and other brokerages paying to put on events to say, come to RE/MAX, come to Century 21, no offense, but you're not seeing that because there's not that much abundance around the brokerage.
Because people don't love their brokerages.
Exactly. Abundance. Yeah. The more you share, the more you give value, everything will grow. So I hope that we see you there in Dallas.
We will be there with bells on in the front row.
Yes, with your hat, and we'll see.
Look for the hat. That's right.
We'll be in Dallas. We might need a cowboy hat this time around.
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe. I'll call you and see what hats you're bringing in.
Yeah. What hats, and we'll take our little boots, our cowboy boots.
That's right. I love it.
Thank you,
awesome.
and Kevin. May you have a wonderful week, and thank you again from the bottom of our hearts for giving us value and bringing it to El Paso and ourselves.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.